Happy Tuesday and welcome to ATI Pro Media. Yesterday, I said on the show that I thought there was a good chance everything we talked about was going to be out of date. I didn't realize how fast it was going to be out of date. Tariffs have been paused with Canada, with Mexico for 30 days. We do have tariffs still on with China, right? That's going to be the talk. But let's make sure, Brady's going to keep me grounded because, we want to talk about the flash headlines. Let's look at the fundamentals too. We need to check in on crop progress in Brazil. Look what CONAB has for soybean harvest and that second corn crop planting. And then also we got some more layoffs in the news with ADM. And then any other, as always, drop us a question, right? I'm sure Brady will give us a little cattle update. He was off yesterday. I'm sure he's got some good topics. Bring him in. Brady, I got to be honest with you. About 2 seconds before, I thought you were going to open, and so I was kind of scrambling. So,
oh yeah, well, it is Tuesday, right? So normally we kind of ham and egg. It would be my day. Sorry, Connor.
I was ready. I was ready. I was ready.
Good job, though. Good job.
All good. All good.
Let's dive over to your markets. We'll talk about where your markets are at right now, and then get into those headlines here. So March corn up 6 cents, 4.94.5. March beans up 4 cents, 10.62 1/4. Soy oil is a little bit weaker, down 70 points. Soy meal up $4.50. Looking over at Chicago wheat, up 0.5 cent, 5.67 1/4 on Chicago wheat. March KC wheat up 0.75 cents, 5.86.5. Looking at your July contract on KC wheat, 6.05 1/4, up a penny. Feeder cattle, they're creeping a little higher here. March going to unchanged after being down nearly $1 early to start the game. Fat cattle are down 10 to 20 points. Looking over at your hog market, April hogs up $1.60. May hogs up 87 points. Crude oil taking a bath all over the place. It was down as much as $2 at one point. Now it's only down 66 points. Looking over at your diesel market, diesel's down 3.5. Nat gas down 15 cents. That's a 1.5. The equity markets over there, the Dow down 20 points, the S&P up 20, and the NASDAQ up 184. Wow. Well, Connor B. These markets are everywhere and nowhere and everywhere all at the same time.
Unbelievable, right? We got number one, we got to go live throughout all this because everything's going to change so quickly, right? And just even yesterday before we saw that tariffs were paused, we still saw a positive reaction in the markets. Then we saw that we're going to 30-day pause, right? First, it was Mexico agreed to heightened border security, a couple other things. We're going to see tariffs pause. Then we saw the same thing with Canada. And so unbelievable how quick everything changed. And we're seeing the markets react accordingly.
Yep. Dynamic. Headlines changed, tweets changed, minute to minute. I liked how you said, so you said something yesterday about we're going to figure this out over the next day or two with Trump's administration. Might as well be 2 months because it's so dynamic and things can change so quickly and so fastly. There's just so much happening over a day's period. It's hard to keep up with it all, Connor B. And it's hard.
Really
it moves your markets. It's creates this uncertain environment that's hard to navigate, and you get flip flopped around, and can really be whipsaw type of sentiment swings here going on. So dynamic. But let's dive into some of those headlines here. Yep. First one here. What do we got? Flash sale.
132,000 corn sold to South Korea. So good to see the flash sales. And we'll take it all day. And so other big headline we had, just moving right along, is we had another layoffs announced in the ag world. Grain trader ADM misses estimates for Q4 profit, announces layoffs. I think, let me pull it up, Brady, but I think it was something in the realm of 700 employees. Does that sound right?
Yeah, 600 to 700. I think and that's over a course of like 700. They're trying to achieve some savings over the next 3 to 5 years. So efficiency, cost savings type of stuff, and just really highlights the tighter operating environments that ADM, Cargill, John Deere, add them all to the list here. But we got another one throwing out some reduction of their workforce here this morning. So
right, and ADM, probably not quite a year ago, but getting close, where they had some accounting issues. We saw their CFO get fired. We saw their stock take a huge hit, and so I think they're still recovering from that a little bit as well. But you hate to see it, right? Hopefully, if we can see these commodity prices rebound, we won't see as many of those in 25 as we did in 24. That's my hope.
Definitely. Yep. Interesting headlines. You never know. Yeah. ADM. Unfortunate. That's real world impact, though, to rural America. 700 jobs. That's a big deal. That's 700 people, roughly.
Yep.
I mean, some of us do 2 jobs, though, right? I mean, some. So I don't know. Maybe it's less than 7.
Oh, good point. Well, so tariffs. Right, let's get our tariff scoreboard right. So we've got Canada, Mexico, pause for 30 days.
Okay.
We did see China announce retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. on certain goods, right? Measures against Google, other firms, and so time will tell, right? I think Chinese President Trump. I don't think they're supposed to talk today, but sometime this week. And so we could see this go away just as quickly, but time will tell, right? We'll
Yep.
see. Where that goes. The whole tariff talk is going to be. We're going to stay fluid, and we're just going to keep reporting about how and just try and keep up to date with how fast everything's moving.
Yeah. And a lot of these headlines, when they come out, it's posturing, the art of the deal, right? It's the games have begun, and I'm going to slap tariffs on you. And China's, 1 out of 3 that actually hit back here and implemented a 15% tariff on energy imports, a 10% on U.S. oil and ag equipment imports. But note that, corn and bean imports kind of dodged the bullet on this first go round of slapping tariffs on things. So that's something to keep your eye on. I think this, this is far from over. 30-day pause with Mexico and Canada here, retaliatory tariffs with China. There's the negotiations and the games have begun, Connor B.
Right. Oh man, it's gonna be it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining. But here's the message, right? If we're worried about tariffs, and because when I was doing the show yesterday, right, or Sunday night, when I received a lot of texts about, hey, what should we be hedging soybeans, right? How low are they gonna go?
Right.
Well, here's the thing: is we got to stay grounded. That's my message to customers. I think that's our message as advanced trading. Is that let's pretend that the tariffs are on and we're seeing the bearish reaction. It'd be the same message, right? Let's not get our short-term focus on. Let's keep the long-term in play and make sure we're doing the right things, right? A lot of times when we see, outside of fundamental moves, right? Tariffs. I go back to like when COVID hit, things like that just feel like black swans and hit this market. Make sure we're doing the right things, right? In grain marketing, I know sometimes if we throw all our eggs in one basket, it works out, but my gosh, I don't like doing that. Let's just make sure we're doing the right things and being consistent, right? And that was the premium. It's amazing, right? I was thinking, okay, we need to make sure we're staying grounded when we see this bearish reaction to tariffs. Lo and behold, we didn't see the bearish reaction, right? It lasted for the overnight trade, but I still thought it'd be a good exercise to walk through and making sure we're just doing the right things, staying grounded, and just making the right decisions.
That's an important message right now because there's so many headlines and they change minute to minute. And if you trade those headlines, you might just end up, Connor, if you're trading headlines, you might end up selling newspapers instead. So be careful out there, how you react to those headlines. I love your premium message yesterday was spot on. It's a message everybody needs to hear right now. Get control, embrace volatility. You had some great specific recommendations for tools guys can use to get control and to do that going forward. I think that's where you got to focus here going forward because it's unpredictable. It's going to be dynamic and volatile, and the games have only begun. My friends, the games have only begun.
That it is. Well, with that, right? Tariffs. It's a lot of unknown. Let's try and get to some let's talk a little bit more fundamental stuff.
Okay.
Let's look at some Conab. Let's look at some Brazil crop progress.
All right.
And so, first one we have is just looking at soybean harvest. As always, thanks for Dr. Cruz for putting this together. And so we're looking at roughly 8% harvested. Last year we were 14%. Continues to be a little bit behind. But I think then the trade, probably more than anything, is we're going to look at this second corn planting, that safrinha corn crop. We're at a 5% planted. Last year we were at 19% or closer to 20%. And then I think the 5-year average, Brady, is right around 12, 13.
Okay.
I believe
that's a big deal. That's Matt. We're starting to get to a crunch time type of moment with the safrinha corn deal. Maybe not dire, and we promised ourselves we weren't going to get real excited about planting delays, right?
We did.
But Connor, when can we start getting excited about a planting delay in South America?
Oh, we're getting close. We are lagging behind, and so the trade's obviously getting a little excited about it, and so. Yeah, time will tell.
Another layer there of the uncertainty dynamic situation. You got tariffs going on, and then you got a production, real world production stuff going on in South America that's going to impact your market as well.
Right. And so speaking of that, looking at that soybean crop, I did see some outside estimates. I saw one firm raise their, they were at a 170 for Brazil soybean production. They went to a 174.
Wow.
And so some big numbers, right? And so the debate is, how big is it? Again, I said this before with the U.S. corn crop this year, and I said it's going to be a record. It was, but just barely by how much they trimmed it on that January report. But it's looking soybean production. It's going to be a record. How is it going to be north of 170? How far north? How big a soybean crop are we talking out there? Time will tell, right? We'll see how fast. A lot of it's going to depend on how fast can they get it out, right? Are they going to make some good progress? We'll make sure to have some weather maps later in the week looking at that.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other grain stuff, or should we move over to cattle market real quick?
No, let's do a quick cattle update.
Okay. All right. Well, earlier, I think it was yesterday, day before Sunday, they announced, APHIS announced resumption of Mexican cattle imports, and they're going to have some pre-export inspection pins that are getting prepared, inspection treatment type protocol as they reopen the border and let some Mexican cattle come into the U.S. So that's adding up maybe a little bit of pressure to the, the cattle market here. Cattle down big yesterday, down $5 on feeder, significant move there. But we've had a heck of a rally and heck of a run, Connor. So we're retracing some of those gains we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Box beef, though, bounced back, had a strong day. Choice was up 431 at 330, almost 332 on the choice cutout. Cash is called steady this week, Connor. The 5 area steer price was 209.57. That was released Monday for last week's cash trade. Connor, that's up $31 versus a year ago. 17.8% more for fat cattle coming out of the yards on that average right now. Pretty wild.
Gosh. Unbelievable. Wild market as always. But
yeah. So we'll see what cash trade does here later in the week. And when that comes, Thursday, Friday, we'll get some cash stuff going on there. And then we'll monitor that feeder cattle index and the feeder cattle auctions as we sell cattle at all the barns across the country. Where does the feeder cattle index go? It's currently up at 280, and March futures are 270.
Gotcha.
But yep.
Gotcha. Well, other thing, right? We'll have all of February to talk about this, but we're seeing the Fed price discovery, right? We've got December futures at 467. Last year average wasn't it 466? So kind of amazing. Kind of amazing to think about where we're just starting. Where we were in 2024, we're kind of in the same boat, but time will tell. It's only February 4th. We got a ways to go.
Yep. Definitely something to keep your eyes on there as we set that price. It's an important piece of information to set a foundation to be able to go market going forward.
Yep, absolutely. Well, what do you think? You want to answer some of these questions?
Let's see what we got, if we got any good questions out there. And then,
yeah. Here we go. Farmer Brett. 3 years ago, we had a basis of corn of $2 shortly after the train car started bringing in corn, and basis dropped 50 cents in a day. It's been a steady decline since, plus 30 right now.
Definitely. Yeah, Western Kansas basis out here. We're getting slammed, I think, with more available bushels right now. I think the farmer's done a good job of selling. I think the rail coming in out here has definitely led to some of the weakness. Corn getting dumped on the top, over the top of us, and then just a lack of, there's a lot of milo around here, and that's maybe displacing some of the need in ethanol plants for corn. But yeah, dynamic basis market out there. And sure looks good in hindsight if you locked up some of that basis into the fall or the spring earlier in the year, because we've gained a lot on the futures front, but basis has been definitely taking some of that away from us out here. So got to manage both pieces out there.
Gotcha. Here you go. What's the chance of getting more feedlots in Western Kansas, Brady?
Well, I'm bullish cattle. I love, I'd love to, I love the feedlots, love cattle, feeding cattle. But there's some empty pins around here too. I think we got to fill those pins up before we talk about building some more concrete bunk line.
I like it. What else we got? Luke's asking Farmer Brett, but it's a good question. How much of a water issue is there in Western Kansas? Corn's easy to haul, water not so much. What do you think, Brady?
That's a good comment. The aquifer is a huge piece of the puzzle out here, and dynamic to manage your resources. And is it a use it or lose it type of situation, or is it a extend it for the next generation and try to make the most of it? A lot of debate on philosophy there. I'm not far from an expert, but yeah, we're definitely corn deficit, we're water deficit, and it's dynamic issue. So. But yeah, there's been talk about building a channel from the Missouri River that comes all the way out across the map into Western Kansas. It would be something, but I don't know. Let's figure out that water problem, Connor, and we can strike it rich if we do that.
Let's do it. Cutting a channel from the Missouri over to Western Kansas. That sounds cheap, but
definitely.
Oh, well, good stuff. Well, any other comments, Brady? I think we can go ahead and wrap it up. We'll see what tomorrow brings, right? Talk about a big start to the week. March corn at 495, right? Nice, a nice rally, getting close to that $5 level.
Yeah.
Right. Where was the near term high on March corn, Brady? Was it 490? We're right there, aren't we?
497.5. So yeah, knocking on that near term high. Definitely.
Good
I love
stuff.
your comments though, how you started today's video, the live stream here, of stay grounded, get control, manage your expectations here, but stay grounded amidst all the headlines here. I think that's the bottom line going forward here is stay grounded, Connor B.
I like it. All right. Well, everyone have a great day. We'll see everyone Wednesday and see what today and the next day brings. Everyone have a good day. See ya.